Dr. Zamir, kita mula lah ya. Because we already about
Okay, all right, okay.
behind this. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hi everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Zamir for his time. I know that he's busy to share with us about LinkedIn, as I can see that he's very active with the LinkedIn. So perhaps that we can use this opportunity to connect better for the fresh graduates and me myself as the academician. So I also want to know how do I connect with other researchers, probably around the world as well. So without further ado, I will pass the session to Dr. Zamir. So basically, we maybe have about 1 hour session about LinkedIn, and perhaps another hour for Q&A session. Dr. Zamir, are you okay if they want to ask a question in between when you are actually
Yes, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, yeah.
Okay, so I hope that you can mute yourself, but if you have any question, you can unmute or you can just type in your question at the chat box, okay? And for those who want the MyCPD and MyCHD, I'm going to give you the link at the end of the session. All right, Dr. Zamir?
All right, okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day to everyone. I hope everyone is fine and doing good. So I'm Zamir from School of Physics, USM. So today I'm going to be sharing about LinkedIn for fresh graduates. So from the list that I've seen so far, I saw most of you are from physics, and then some of you are from engineering, and then I also saw some names from other universities as well, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe a couple of you are experienced professionals who like to learn about LinkedIn. Okay, so let's continue. The talk for today will be started with overview of LinkedIn, and then why do we have to use LinkedIn? How do we develop our profile on LinkedIn?
Dr. Zamir, are you sharing your slides?
Yeah. Can you see now?
We couldn't see your slide. Or is it only me?
Okay.
I couldn't see your slides.
All right, let me reshare because now it's Zishan said can see.
Oh, I can. Why I cannot see?
Others?
Okay, it's okay.
Else cannot see?
I'm not sure why I cannot see.
Okay, hold on.
Let me. Maybe you can unshare and share again.
Okay, let me redo. Okay, no worries. Okay. Okay, how about this time?
Now I can see.
Okay, others fine? Others can see, yeah? Okay, good. Right. So I'll go through a little bit of overview of LinkedIn and why do we have to use LinkedIn? Okay, probably some of you thought that LinkedIn is a job portal. It's not a job portal, okay? It is actually social media for professionals. So part of it is about job searching and job hunting as well. And even for talent search, that's used by HR personnel around the globe to source for new talents. So I'll go through a little bit on how do you develop your profile, how do you start your account, and then I'm going to walk you through on the LinkedIn platform itself. We're going to go through section by section on what is important in every single section before you finish your profile. Then how do you build quality networking? And then I'm going to finish off with a little bit of tips for internship and job hunting. So how many of you have heard of LinkedIn before? Maybe you can raise your hand or say yes or say no. Anyone hasn't heard about LinkedIn at all before? Yes. So I can see many yeses. Anyone no? Anyone doesn't have your own LinkedIn account yet? You say no. Not yet, okay, not yet. So yes, I assume for the yeses, okay, quite a number of no's. For the yeses, I assume you either have heard and already have an account or have heard but not yet created an account, okay? So not yet, not yet. Okay, a couple not yet as well. Okay, that's fine. So let's go through and try to learn from this session, so that maybe after this session you can create your own account and try to start build up your own account in order to fulfill your purpose. Okay. So a little bit of overview of LinkedIn. So this is the world largest professional network. Okay, world largest professional network. So owned by Microsoft Corporation, and the system was launched back in 2003, and even I didn't know this. It was already launched for like 18 years ago. I believe I started using LinkedIn for the past 8-9 years, if I'm not mistaken, right? So you can see a little bit of details of LinkedIn on the right, okay? And in terms of revenue, in terms of the advertising and others, okay? You can get this from Wiki, actually, Wikipedia. So this is just a gross information about LinkedIn to give us some background of what is it all about. So in essence, it is a social media for professionals. So when we talk about social media, we know of Facebook, we know of Twitter, right? But this one is also a social media, but professionals. So when we say it is professionals, the content, the language, and pretty much everything has to be professional in nature, okay? So the stuff that you shared, the comment and everything, it has to be appropriately tailored to the platform, which is professional. So who uses LinkedIn around the globe? So there are altogether more than 600 million professionals who are on LinkedIn, right? So 70% outside the US, 50 million different companies, 167 industries, 110,000 schools, and all Fortune 500 companies use LinkedIn platform to get their new talents, right? So this is how one of the promising platforms that they use to source for new talents. So if you look at this, it's not only about you searching for jobs, it's not only about you searching for internships, but it is also about HR personnel looking for new talents. So it is both way communication, it's both way efforts. So this platform is very important for you to kickstart your career. And not only that, it's also for your career development. So if you talk about the use of LinkedIn, it's not only for fresh graduates who like to look for new jobs, internships, but it is also for experienced professionals who like to sustain their career, say hopping from company A to company B and planning and fulfilling their career target in the next 5, 10, 15 years, right? So this system can be used and it is very, I would say, comprehensive in nature for you to use. So students and fresh graduates recently formed the most LinkedIn fastest growing demographic. Okay, so that means, so recently more and more students are using LinkedIn for job searching, internship, communication, exchange of ideas, collaboration, and many other things. Right? So you represent one of the most fastest growing demographic on LinkedIn. So that says it's going to be a very promising platform for you to use. Okay. So this is how it looks like at a glance, right? This is not everything. Okay? I couldn't capture the whole thing onto this slide. But anyway, I'm just going to show you this, and we're going to walk through the platform later on. Okay, so this is how it looks like at a glance. So you have your account on the left, pretty much as a summary, and then you have a post section here for you to post, and you have articles or your feed, if you like news feed on Facebook. So you'll see things down here later on. I'll show you, and then this is your network that you've got so far, and potentially your new networks as well that you can connect, right? So when you say this is network, so they are all your connections, right? So the connection or your network here is called connections. So they're not friends, right? On social medias, typically we call friends, but on this system we call connections, not friends. So jobs here, I'll walk you through these job opportunities, how do you do the search and everything later on towards the end. And this is messaging, just like you see on Facebook, for example. You can do messaging, message your connections for anything, you know, to get to your content, or to exchange emails or stuff like that, or to start your collaboration. This is your notification. If you just like notification on Facebook, from your comments, or from your like, for example, if somebody like your contents, right? This is if you click here, you'll see your account details. I'll walk you through that later on. So this is just at a glance, simply, right? So I'll walk you through the whole system later on. So why LinkedIn? Right, there are a couple of reasons. Usually you can find online. So the first one is to showcase your profile, your expertise, recommendation as well. So profile here means your resume, if you like. Resume, well, in fact, it's more comprehensive than your resume. If you look at it, if you look at your resume, it's just what, a couple of pages, or the least is like 1 page, and you can only email to one company at a time. But this one is like, you build your profile and then you leave it there idling, you go to sleep, it's still doing the talking for you, right? So if, say, any personnel is looking at your LinkedIn account from different time zones, say from the US, and interested in your background and everything, then while you're sleeping, they're actually viewing your profile. So they're doing the job for you. So what you have to do is just to build a good profile and leave it there, and interact from time to time. Okay. So in that sense, it's more comprehensive, it's more active, it's more proactive than resume or CV. So resume and CV is like one-to-one, and then at the moment you email to the personnel, and that's it, right? And this one you can interact beyond the job search. You can exchange information, collaborate, you know, build new network and stuff like that. You can input your expertise. In your case, for example, if talking about fresh graduates, then what did you learn last time before you graduate? What are the courses you learn? What are the relevant courses that you might want to put in that are tailored to the company's interests? And then you can also do recommendations for each other, right? So the moment you've got your networks, I'm going to show you later on. The moment you've got your network, you can actually give recommendation to your connections. For example, if Dr. Sakina inserts, she's an expert in medical physics or sub areas in medical physics, then someone or some connections from medical physics can actually endorse that. You can do the endorsement on your connections, and your connections can also endorse your expertise, and these will actually raise your credentials. Okay, so this is what you can do later on, the moment you've got your account. So you can use this platform to develop your personal brand as well. So if you want to say that you are an expert in certain areas, then you can slowly build up your expertise, not by only inserting your academic backgrounds or projects or grants or achievement, but also your interest, your passion, through the articles, through the content that you are sharing every time. So that pretty much shows your brand. So you can also build a professional online presence through continuous presence on the platform. So you cannot just create your account today and leave it for like 3 months doing nothing. Okay, it's not healthy in that sense. So you have to always build your online presence so that you are visible. So the key here is visible. You want to be visible to HR personnel if you're looking in the context of looking for internship or for jobs. And you want to be visible for your potential collaborators as well if you're looking for opportunities for new grants or something, or new collaboration perhaps. So why LinkedIn? Add connections. It's all about networking, and networking, right? So after all, it is a social media for professionals. So you want to do as many networks as possible. And it's not wrong to do networking with strangers. You don't necessarily have to know your connection in person, because they also have the same issue, if you like. So they want to add to your network, they want to tap to your network, and you want to tap to their network as well. but you don't really know them in person. So this doesn't have to be the case, okay? So on the other hand, if you talk about the typical social media, you might want to know the person in person, right? So they are really your friends. Or else, if you expose your account to strangers, so there might be other things that you might face if you share your private life, for example. Then there are consequences in some cases. So you can tap to research organizations, you can tap to industries, you can tap to graduate programs more easily, right? So if you look at this, if you want to tap to research organization or perhaps a new industry, you have to go through respective website previously. So now they are all together in a single platform. You can just search for company A, company B, company C, and they are just on a single platform. You can start browsing for the content and look for vacancies and stuff like that. Explore new opportunities for fresh grads and experience equally, right? So if you want to get your first job, your internship, or in fact, if you want to change your jobs from time to time in the same industry or across different industries as well, you can do that. So you can explore these opportunities on this platform. And also you can learn professional networking etiquettes on this platform. So it's not like a typical social media. So the key here is professional, keep it professional. So you will deal with others, with HR personnel in this case, for example, just like the way you deal in your email for when the first time you send an email to search for jobs, for example, with your CV, resume, cover letter. So you learn that as well, because there are also contents involving learning. We call it LinkedIn learning, where you can embark on certain trainings free or charge, and you will end up having some professional certificates from the organizer. So this could also enhance your credentials as well. So we'll look at it later on, don't worry. Let me just browse and give some background first. So what you're going to do later on is I'll walk you through anyway. So first thing, you're going to create your account. If you've got your account, and see what else need to be improved here. So there are a few things that are important to your account. I'll go through this again at the moment we are on the platform. The very first thing is your profile picture. It has to look professional. Okay. So it's not simply like any profile pictures that you put on social media. Okay, so it has to be professional looking, it has to be close up, you have to put some smile on it as well. So the best is a plain background. So we're going to walk you through later on. Headline, we're going to walk through headline later on. It has to be unique, it has to be specific. You have to mention your location, especially if you want to declare that you're open for new opportunities. So I'll show that later on. So there's a section on summary as well, where you have to input your keywords, reach, education, experience, and your goal. And we're going to see later on how do you include your courses, FYP, professional certs if they are, and experience, social activities as well. So eventually, I'm going to show you later on, when you build your profile on LinkedIn, you want to achieve all-star here. So this is just an example. If you want to achieve this status, all-star. So if it's not yet all-star, so that means you need to input more items into your profile in order to improve it. So it's all about build quality networking around the globe. It's not only limited within Penang, within Malaysia. So what makes quality network? So what do you think? Before we go to the system, what do you think makes your quality network? Who are your quality network? If you have your account ready, who would you want to add first? Any ideas? You can just share in the chat box. You want to add your friends? Okay. Sakina, someone in your field. Yep, someone in your field. Anyone else? HR personnel, exactly. You're looking for job. HR personnel. Okay. Anyone else? Lecturers, mentors. Yep, lecturers, mentors. Well-known companies, academy. Yes, batchmates. Exactly, batchmates. You can do the endorsement later on, because your batchmates know you better than others, right? Research collaborators. Yep. Okay. So let me just share here. So friends, just means that batchmates, so your friends. from the same program who can do endorsement for you later on, HR personnel, for said, industry practitioners, right? If you're looking for internship, first job, change of job, university lecturers who can also endorse you, especially those who teach you, who taught you certain courses, so they know you better, I guess, and also your penasihat academic, your PA, right, or other lecturers that are close to you during your studies. Still, what do I feel in my current position? Okay, let's go through later on, right? It's not that easy though, but let's see what you can do with your status to get to all stars. Okay, university lecturers, colleagues with shared work experience, especially if you're already in the industry for a couple of years. So you might want to add your colleague as your new connections, and professional affiliations. For example, if you're talking about Institution of Engineers Malaysia or Institute Physics Malaysia ke, ataupun I don't know, some other professional affiliations that are associated with your field, right? Or well-known institution in our countries or some other countries that you might be related somehow, right? So this will make your quality network in the future. Right, so this is just a capture from my account. So you can see some of the connections of mine. So this is not all. So I have a range of different connections from students to graduates to industry practitioners to guys in different industries, in fact, right? In Energy Malaysia, Petronas. So our ex-student as well here, if you can recognize her, Tejas Vini, now a senior engineer at Top Glove. I think she graduated about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. She was from applied physics. Okay. So this is your potential connections that you can just click connect later on. I'm going to show you through later on. So the system will suggest to you your potential connections based on your background, right? Based on your educations, based on your career experience, based on your whatever you've input into your profile. So the system will suggest to you who are your potential connections that you might want to add, right? So, well, this is just a capture of networking strategies that you can do from your profiling, from the messaging, from the searching, from the recommendations that you can do, from the endorsement from the persons that you know, from your connections, right? And things that you can do in order to improve your networking strategies. Right. The moment you've created your account, I'm going to walk you through later on. Don't spend your time, don't let your account idling for some time, right? Don't create account here and leave it idling. Spend time on it. Work on the account, right? Work on the account, work on the connections. So this is to build your online presence, right? So remember the why just now, why of LinkedIn is to build your online presence, to show your online presence. So how do we do that? So follow companies or organizations of interest. So this is what you can do. If you're interested in Shell, for example, then follow Shell. If you're interested in Intel or Western Digital or JA Solar, follow them accordingly and try to see their recent news, right? So their recent news, their recent articles, their recent sharings could be important for your interviews later on, right? Right. So they might want to know especially when you go for interview and they talk to you about their products, they talk to you about their direction, they talk to you about their aspiration, and they ask you questions related to that. So these contents could be important for your upcoming interviews. So add connections over time, like the content of others, comment the content of others. So the moment you like, the moment you comment, your background will show up, your headline will show up. I'm going to show later on. It's going to give you the summary below your name. Who are you, right? So immediately people can see you, or other connections of your connection can also see you there. So that actually increases your online presence and visibility on the system, right? Share content as well. If you find it useful, share the contents to others. So especially if you talk about this time, in this time of pandemic, it's a very rough time, people losing jobs, and a single share from you, for example, from a connection that is an HR personnel, for example, who advertise job vacancies, and then the job vacancies could be invisible to others, but due to your sharing, hundreds or in fact thousands of different people in Malaysia, for example, could benefit from the new jobs, right, or the new vacancies. So you never know. Just share good content and post useful content as well. Try to post useful content, especially if they are related to your field of interest. So what to post? Before we go there, what to post? Post useful contents. Keep it professional, right? So the keyword here is keep it professional. LinkedIn is not Facebook, okay? It is a social media, but it's for professional networks, right? So don't post something that is not professional in nature. You can tell, right? You can tell. So other features on LinkedIn, before we go there, you can also find job vacancies, right? You can go here to My Jobs. You can do search on vacancies from companies in your areas. If you're interested in Kulim, if you're interested in Penang and KL, Seremban, you can put the areas accordingly, right? Put the locations accordingly, then you'll see the available vacancies on the system. Right, other features on LinkedIn, before we go there, you can also find LinkedIn learning components on LinkedIn. So you'll be given something like this. For example, this is just a pop-up on my system. So you can see here about about time management, about Excel, about quick tips on PowerPoint, about habits for success, and others. You can actually join these training sessions. Some are free and some are charged. But typically, if you go for the beginners level, they are free in nature. But if you go for more extended content for professional level, then you'll be charged for that, right? But these are the things that you can get in a single platform. It's very good. So I've gone through a couple of sessions already, especially those which are free, of course. So I can learn something from it. Even though it's just a 2 or 3 minute sharing, I can learn a lot from it already. So now let's go to LinkedIn. I'll just unshare this slide and go straight away to LinkedIn, and we'll see how do we go about. All right, so let me share my LinkedIn window. Okay. Right, can you see the LinkedIn screen?
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, good. All right, so okay, before that, let me show you. If you haven't got an account, what you have to do is, can you see my Google search? Just to confirm. Okay, good. So, well, it's a very straightforward search, right? You can just search LinkedIn account, okay, and then click this one, LinkedIn account, login, sign up, and key in all the details first. So how to key in, I'll walk you through, okay? So the moment you've click this, so you'll see a blank window where you're supposed to fill in your name, your status, your education background, and everything. So say if you have hit in a little bit of those, you'll probably end up with this. Let me just open mine. Click here. All right, so now we are on my page. We are on my account page. So let me just show you one by one. Well, this is the capture that I captured now. I showed this now on the slides. So this is where you go to home. You can click here and go to home, just like your newsfeed on social medias. And this is where you go back to your account, right? So let's see what is required on the account. So the very first thing is you have to upload a picture. Okay, upload a picture. Say now you are building your account. So the very first thing is try to upload your picture, make it public, of course. And when you say about picture, I've listened to a couple of YouTube videos, especially by HR personnel. There are a few tips about the picture. The first thing is it has to be clear, and then it has to be professional looking. So in my case, it's not a completely professional looking. I would say it's semi-professional because the background is not plain. This is my office background, but I'm not looking for a job though, so it's not that critical for my case, but it'll be very critical for your case, right? So make sure it is a professional looking profile picture. Put some smile on it, even though I don't have my teeth here on the picture, right? It's okay, just a bit of smile will do. And make sure your background is plain, and you dress up accordingly, right? Completely professional. Make sure it's near. Don't put something that is far away, right? So make sure it's professional nature. Close up, clear, clear background, right? So you can have a look at other profile pictures on the system later on. We'll walk you through, and you can see how the profile pictures look like, right? I think there is even a platform, I couldn't remember, I listened on YouTube videos a couple of days ago, where you can actually upload your profile picture and the system will tell you competencies. So it will give you a rating of percentage. How competent are you based on your profile picture, right? So based on your smile or no smile. So from there, you can see the rating of your profile picture, and then you might want to use or might not want to use the profile picture. I couldn't remember. You can do the Google search to try to find that, or you can in fact go to YouTube and try to search for LinkedIn related videos, and you can find something on that. I forgot to capture the link before this. Right. So then goes your name. So you might want to put your name here. Okay, say your name is Muhammad Fathul Bari bin Muhammad Fuad. So Muhammad Fathul Bari bin Muhammad Fuad. Then the next important thing is your headline here. This is your headline. Okay. So what do you think you want to put there? If you're a student, what would you want to put there? Student? Don't put student, okay? Don't put student. Don't put Fathul Bari student. Don't put that. Put something that is related to your aspiration. For example, just an example, okay, that I heard from previous videos. You can put something like aspiring applied physics graduate looking for a career opportunity in semiconductor industry, right? Be very specific, right? So that is a sort of a headline that you have to input, because after all, when you comment or when you like or when you post contents, you want people to immediately capture your status, right? Who are you? Who's this guy, right? Who's this student, right? So what is your background? So the moment you put everything there concisely, so they can immediately know your status, right? Then only they might want to go to visit your account. So for example, aspiring economics graduate looking for career opportunity in blah 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 industry, right? So you can look for these tips online as well on YouTube, but this is how it should be framed, for example. So in your case, so don't just put student, because I heard of a couple of tips that that what you call doesn't allow fresh graduate to put student, because student is very what you call when you are an HR personnel, for example, you wouldn't search the keyword student. Kan, you takkan search student. But after all, you'll come here and search for, okay, if you come here, if you are an HR personnel, you come here, you won't search for student, you won't search for something like, yeah, they'll probably go for fresh grads, but not student, I think. Okay, what if pure physics? What can be written there? Any suggestion? Well, you can say something like aspiring. Aspiring is not the what you call the fixed word, okay? But this is just an example. Aspiring pure physics student looking for career growth in whatever area they want to. Try to be as generic as possible, because you don't know where you will end up. Especially if you don't have any direction that you want to go yet. If you are really into semiconductor, for example, then you can just put semiconductor as your industry of interest, okay? Yeah, aspiring physicist looking for a career in semiconductor. That would be a good suggestion as well. For example, then change the semiconductor to some other industry accordingly, as long as that can capture the attention of the personnel who could be interested in your profile. Okay, so this is the headline. The next important thing is the headline. And then next is, let's forget about this first, because this will only come up after you put on your backgrounds and your career. So you can also declare here, open to, you can click here, finding a new job, for example, and hiring. Okay, open to hiring, open to finding a new job. For example, if I click here, so I'm not looking for a new job, so that's why I don't click. This you are sending us in so I won't put here. But anyway, I'm just going to go here, try to show to you, open for a new job and see what can we. Yeah. So the moment you click open for a new job, so you will have to include here what is your expected job title. Say you put engineer, for example. Engineer. So these will be the keywords that will guide the search engine later on. Engineer, saya letak example ya. Oops, why is it not? Okay, engineer. Then location, say you're from Bayan Lepas, so you want to work just in Penang and nowhere else, for example. So just in Penang, and then you want to start immediately, or you want to go flexible, you want to go full time, or you go contract, part time, blah blah blah. Then you add that to your profile, right? So then your status will change to open for a new hiring. Okay, then this will somehow guide the search of from the HR personnel to find you. And so, oh sorry, this card. So you can also go for show that you are hiring and attract qualified candidates. Okay, I think this is more for the HR personnel. If you're hiring people, then you are hiring someone, right? Create a new job, then you advertise your vacancies. If you're an HR personnel, in this case, we're not. We are looking for jobs. So question here is, location is basically the place that you want to work or current place. Exactly, good question. There are tips that advise us to put your location as a location that you want to work in or you want to work at. So say if you're from Penang and you want to work you're looking for jobs in KL, so don't put Penang as your location, put KL as your location, right? Well, in some cases, the companies might not be interested in your origin anyway, because if you're from Penang and you want to work in KL and you'll be ready to work anyway. But to some extent, it will prioritize the search, I believe, because this is what I heard from the previous videos on LinkedIn. So that will somehow prioritize your rank in terms of the your radius to the companies. So try to put your location as KL if you want to work in KLCC, for example. Okay. So section here, you can add section down here. I'll show you. There'll be about, featured, background, work experience, education. This is pretty much your thing that you're going to see down here. I'm going to show you later on immediately. Right. So the moment you've got your profile ready, for example, assuming you've got your profile ready, I'm going to walk you through. You can see who has viewed your profile, right? So for example, in this case, I've achieved all-star. I've input pretty much everything in there, even though I'm not looking for a new job. So who's viewed your profile? 203 people. I'll just click here and show you. You can see later on. Okay, you can see here, right? You can see from 208 profile viewers in the past 90 days, plus 218% since last week. So increment of 218% since last week. So this is probably some of you who are on the system now, trying to look for my profiles, right? So Najiha and some people that requires premium account level for me to view, and Nazira and Fatul Bari. Yeah, exactly. I mentioned your name just now, Fatul Bari, and Z, Kang Chong, and others, right? So these are the people who has just viewed your profile. Okay, so let's go back to the account. So from this, you can pretty much tell if you have personnel, HR personnel looking at your profile. Say from HR personnel from First Solar or from Silterra or from some hospital or something, right? You can tell that they could be interested in your profile. Okay. How do you put a lot to profile? Okay, that's fine. Yep. Okay. So then who viewed your post? Okay, you can say if you post something yesterday, you posted something yesterday. Right. So yesterday I posted about say my new paper that's just published. So you can see here 216 views. Right, 5 likes, 216 views. So this is the link. You can just click here and see a little bit of details on who's viewed your post. Right, you can see here 4 people from USM, and then from Seagate, from On Semiconductor, from Silterra, from QCells, who could be interested in your work, right? So 18 people with research fellows titled university professors, student, engineers, lab scientists from different locations, right? Selangor, Kedah, in fact, from India, from Australia, right? You can even go down for more, right? From different research institutions down here could be interested in my perovskite work, and yeah, from different industries as well. Okay, so you can have some ideas on this. So let's go back. You can also see down here, I posted yesterday about a new company that's opening in Batu Kawan, Lam Research, who's a manufacturer of a semiconductor equipment, right? Just opened 1 billion investment in Batu Kawan. So you can see 1,360 views. So some of them could be people who are interested in new jobs. You wouldn't know, right? So this is my friend from Silterra last time. So my previous post, right? So you can see here later on, the moment you've got a post. So let's just go back to the account. Right, search appearances. Who has searched you? Right, your searches work at USM, at Abbott, at Continental, at JA Solar. And what do? They are executive directors, project managers, business strategists, manufacturing operation manager, database developer, right? They could be HR personnel as well. So I don't open myself for work. So that's why these guys could be interested in the profile itself or in the content, but not really on the hiring, okay? So it's very useful for you to track the credential of your profile. So the more search appearance you appear, so that's pretty much reflect your credentials. So let's go down. So there's also a section here where you can put featured content or featured article about yourself. Say if you have a blog that you write about yourself or your social activities in USM, your persatuan pelajar, whatever, or your involvement in NGOs or something, you might want to write and include your article here. So in this case, I just included article on, not really article, my profile from School of Physics website, from my ResearchGate. You can just put your link here, and then the moment you click here, it'll bring you to your ResearchGate. And then I've included my Google Scholar here, right, and also my YouTube channel, which is mainly on my classes with applied physics student, right? So down here, you can see your activities as well, whatever you have done in the past few minutes and years and days and months, right? So in this case, you can see my activities. So this is pretty much my post, my like, my comments, right? This is, you can see down here. This is pretty much what you've seen a couple of minutes ago on my post. So they are summarized here, okay? So this is the very next important section that you have to craft about yourself, okay? This has to contain pretty much a summary, okay? Right, this section has to contain pretty much a summary of yourself, right? So in your case, since you are a fresh grad, for example, so you might want to put your major, your background, your degree, and then a little bit of relevant courses that you might want to attract certain industries. For example, if you're into semiconductor industry, that you might want to put subjects like solid state physics, semiconductor devices, fabrication, and I don't know, SSL perhaps, solid state lighting and stuff like that. So depending on which type of industry you are aiming for. And then a little bit of your social involvement, social activities. Just give what you call a brief summary about yourself and what is your aspiration. At the very end, so in my case, I don't practice that because I'm not looking for a new job anyway. So at the very end of this sentence, for example, just put on your something related to your career aspiration or career goal, or what differences can you make if you're hired, for example, your strong qualities, for example. Okay. So in my case, since I'm not looking for a job, so I just summarize some details about myself, my research, current focus, and at the very end, put your email, right? Include your email. Don't forget that. Even though they can reach you by messaging on this platform, still put your email. So this section, before I forget, this section has to summarize pretty much everything that you've got down here. Experience, education background, your social involvement, but in just a couple of sentences, right? Before they go down further to really look into the details of your background, right? So the next important section, let me just go through the background first because you are students, right? Education background. So here you might want to put your BSc or BEng or whatever degree that you have or you're going to have soon. So put your background, put your years, right? Okay. So, well, you can actually click here. Let me show you if I go to my degree. Right, so you can put your university, your degree, your field of study. Say if you are from medical physics, you might want to put medical physics or some specific areas. Then your years at the university, and then your grade is equally important as well. Okay, your activities you can put here as well, a little bit of description about what you learn. Mainly, I would say something like the synopsis of the program. So if you're from pure physics, so you might want to put something that you learned from pure physics in a form of synopsis. What did you learn in in pure physics? Then at the end, what did you get, right? So in this case, I didn't put really details because I'm not interested for a new job. So it's not really my concern. So put your details here and then, hold on, before I forget, at your degree section, please also include your FYP project. Okay, FYP project. Jangan lambat pula loading ni. All right, here, the description here, make sure you put your little bit of synopsis of what your program is all about, and then what are the relevant courses. Okay, relevant courses that could be related to your industry that you are aiming for, and then FYP, exactly, FYP with a summary. FYP title with a summary. Don't just put a title, but include a 2 to 3 sentences summary about your project. So what is it all about? What did you learn? What did you get? Right? So 3 sentences pretty much. Well, you can go for more. There's no hard and fast rule for that. But just be brief so that when people see your FYP title that could be related to their industry, then they start to understand what did this student do, right? So that's where you include your key points about the project, right? For example, if you work on simulation of solar cell, for example, in my case, so your title could be something on simulation of blah 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 solar cell for or whatever, and then in this project, simulation platform of X was used in order to simulate the effects of in order to obtain efficiency enhancement in the final solar cell, something like that, right? So keep it brief so that they have an idea of what your project is all about. Okay. Is it okay so far? Any questions so far before I go down further? And you can ask me now. Belum lagi? Nope. Sorry. Should have discard. Right. So work experience. Go up here. Work experience, you can actually include your internship as well. Well, it's not a proper job anyway, but you can put internship in your work experience section, for example. Okay. So then, say, let me just open here, edit. Okay, so you might want to say here internship or you an intern at which company, right? Intern dekat mana? Apa institut kanser negara ke, for example. And then well, you can choose whatever that is related. Internship, see, internship is here. So you can just choose internship and then which company. So which location, your time. So berapa bulan semua kan. So then, yeah, description here. Include what did you do during the internship. Okay. So katalah you are assigned to do 3 projects, for example, 3 mini projects. Then describe the projects. So what did you do? What did you get? What did you learn? Right? What did you do? What did you get from there as the results? And then what did you learn from the whole internship as a package? So what did you learn should include the technical side of the internship and then the soft side of the internship. Soft side here means the soft skill. What did you learn in terms of the teamwork, communication, interpersonal, yeah, whatever they are related to your project or your internship as a whole, right? So what did you do? What did you get? What did you learn? 3 things, right? So include that as one of your experiences. So even though it's not regarded as a job per se, but at least on this platform, it recognizes your internship as your experience, right? So this is a very good what you call avenue for you to showcase your experience that could be related to the company that you are looking for, right? So if you're aiming, for example, if you're aiming for, say you did your internship at JA Solar, for example, like Faika and friends, and you don't want to end up in solar industry, but you want to end up in semiconductor industry as a whole, then the qualities that you learn from the internship, try to spell something more generic for semiconductor industry so that it catches the attention of any HR personnel in the semiconductor industry as a whole, right? Unless if you want to be very specific in solar and you're just aiming for solar and you don't want to end up in other industries, then you can just say something related to solar at your internship experience. Okay, let me see the question here. Yusra Hani, work experience here got a bit of issue for me on how to write proper work experience, the job scope, proper work experience, the job scope, the study there. Is it roughly a specific explanations? Okay, that's fine. Right. Well, in essence, you should have what did you do? Okay, let me elaborate on that. What did you do? So if you're assigned on a specific project, for example, if you're assigned to do cost reduction of chemical A in order to fabricate device X, for example, spell that out. Okay, you are assigned to do, I was assigned to do cost reduction project on spell the project pretty much. So this project aim to reduce the cost related to chemical X. And then at the end of the internship, you mentioned the achievement of the project. What did you get? So at the end of the internship, evaluations were done and the cost was reduced by 30%, for example. This is where the section you want to sell the numbers, the facts and figures. So dekat platform ni, personnels or the hiring managers, for example, directors, they'll be interested in the numbers. So in your achievement, even though it's not that serious for your case lah, because you're just doing internship. But if you have the numbers, that will make you stronger. Okay. For example, if you reduce the equipment downtime by 5% or 5 hours, for example, due to your project. So mention the 5 hours the time saving, for example, or 5% cost reduction, or 6% production enhancement, or something like that, right? Mention the numbers, especially if you have the numbers, right? So this will make your credentials stronger. Kalau you mention macam something like the project was successfully completed, it sounds so vague there because the performance orientation is not there, right? So when you're looking for a new job or hopping jobs, performance-oriented metrics will be very, very important. 30% cost reduction, 5% efficiency enhancement, reduce downtime by 10%. These are all the metrics that are of interest to the industry. Okay, so try to be specific but not too long. Okay, remember the key skeleton there is what did you do, what did you get, which is the achievement, 5%, 10%, or whatever, and what did you learn overall. technically and also the non-technical side as well. Okay, so try to input these parameters or these points into your description. Okay, Yusrani, hope it helps. So yeah, so you can include your internship. So that's why we try to encourage you to do your internship as much as possible, even though it's not compulsory. Especially if you are looking forward to have a job in the industry. But kalau you macam nak sambung MSc or PhD, probably it's not that crucial, but certainly it helps to some extent, right? So this is your work experience. So later on, 5 years, 3 years down the road, you might want to add your, in fact, it doesn't have to be 3 years. The moment you've got your first job, you can already include the first job here, and then what is the job role? Description, achievement, and what you learn, right? Remember that? It's more crucial really if you are already an experienced professional. Well, typically if you're an experienced professional, if any of you are experienced professional here joining the session, so you have to put your job description, current job description. Usually this is the job description that we receive in our offer letter, right? If you're hired as an R&D engineer in company X, so there'll be like 4 or 5 JDs, we call it JDs, job descriptions, that are already there, spelled out clearly in your offer letter. That's pretty much your day in, day out jobs that you have to do. And the second section you have to add will be your achievement from your JDs, right? Again, it goes back to your task. Develop, for example, if you're an R&D engineer, you develop technology X with capability of Y or something. Then you might want to include sales performance if there is within reach as well. And then if you're a process engineer, for example, so what did you do in order to improve the process? What did you do in order to improve the process troubleshooting? What did you do in order to reduce the cost of chemicals, cost of mechanical or automation, for example, mechanical equipments and stuff like that. So it really depends on the JDs. But all in all, you have to have your JDs and your achievement in order for you to hop between jobs, right? Tukar company lah, tukar company or in fact tukar industry completely, right? So see, I also included my internship last time when I did at Arup, okay, in electrical engineering when I was a student at Sheffield, right? Internship, it's only 4 months there. Okay, so you can also include here your licenses or certifications if you already have. Okay, in my case, I'm still a graduate engineer under BEM, Board of Engineers Malaysia, because my first degree was electrical engineering. Then I'm also a professional technologist in green technology, right? So you can put here. So if you students, if you have professional certificates from your trainings or whatever, put here as well. This will enhance your overall credential. Okay, katalah you ambil certain professional cert in programming, for example, to extend your knowledge or your skills, add here, right? You can also, before I forget, so I've got to say that when you include here, when you include your details here, you can also include media. I couldn't remember which one. I think it's summary here. You can also, or here, you can also include your media. For example, if you have videos related to anything, videos related to your trainings, video related to your social activities, social programs, you can also include the link there so that people can find more details about yourself. Right, professional certificates. Right, so down here is the skill and endorsement that I talked about just now on the slides. So you can add your skill here, for example, add your skill.
Dr. Zamir, before you move on to skills, I just want to ask questions because you mentioned about all the social things just now. So, for example, if the students are involved with some of the program or any social activities or curricular activities, so do you think, so you mean that we can post that here?
Yes, you can post that as well. Yeah, yes, you can post that. You might want to include, I don't know, a blog or just a picture with the description as a proof. That will certainly enhance the credentials. So that's
so that one is under the profiles, not the post.
Yes, that's under profile. That's just like part of your CV overall.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So the beauty of this system is that you can actually put this develop this as a portfolio of yourself. Kalau kita tengok CV or resume is just, you know, a very plain details about your background, your experience, and your achievement, and that's it. But here you can actually put some links, put some, you know, connection to other platforms about yourself. So you can put the whole thing about yourself as a portfolio, which is more comprehensive than a typical CV or resume. Okay. So coming here, they can reach you to other platforms as well. So other platforms, or other proof, pictures, blogs, links, could help to validate your credentials, right? So that could be done. Nanti balik try to explore what else can you put that could be relevant and could enhance your whole credential. So now let's go down to skill. So I haven't updated this for quite some time. So say you can say something on applied, you can add something on applied physics, you can search here. Really, let me check. I've got SPC. Can I say programming? Yeah, the keyword is there. You can just put programming and you can just add. Okay, you can just add. Okay, so the moment you've got your skills there related to your background, so your skills will appear here. Thin film, solar cells, physics. Let me just show more. Right, renewable energy. So this is really related to myself. Solar, spectroscopy, polymers, ICs that are related to your courses, that are related to your work experience as well. Right, then there'll be this component called endorsement. Okay, so you're visible for endorsement by others. You're visible, so that means you're visible. Ini semua yang dah endorse you. These are the connections that have endorsed you on that particular skill. So in this case, PV. So let's go down to design of experiment, for example. So these are the connections that have endorsed you on DOE, right? So you can also ask your connections for recommendation. I couldn't remember which is the button. Yeah, ask for recommendation. You can ask for recommendation. So you can ask someone to recommend you as well. So for example, if you work for company A, you have a boss, and then you want to move to company B, and your boss is fine with that, or your colleague. Perhaps bukan your boss, nanti boss marah pula lari tempat lain. So perhaps your colleague. So you work together with your friend from applied physics, for example, and you want your friend to recommend you. Recommend you bagi testimoni lah. Why so good about yourself? You're strong at what? You're good at programming. You can easy to work together. You have strong presentation skills. You can work in a team, stuff like that. You can say no. Right, you can say Nur Sakina, say I'm asking from Dr. Nur Sakina to recommend me on something. So main issue report directly to you, senior. Dr. Sakina boss saya. Dr. Sakina is my boss, and then position at the time. Well, this will be taken from your work experience, right? Katalah you intern, so you intern here, reporting to Dr. Sakina. Next. Right, so Dr. Sakina will help you write something about yourself. Right? Zamir is Zamir, whatever. Then send. And this will actually appear under recommendation section down here. In my case, I didn't ask because I didn't look for a job. I'm not looking for a job, so I'm not interested in this section, okay, at the moment, right? So you can ask for your colleagues or for your say internship with your boss, for example, to give you a recommendation here, and that will actually boost your credentials overall, right? Okay, I saw a question now. Let me see. Arif, if I want to join professional program on LinkedIn, I can say for that. I'll show you later on, okay? I'll show you later on about the training. Okay, so right, accomplishment, you can put your accomplishment down here. Say you can add in my case, I just put my publications. So you can add your publication, pattern, course that you've gone through, project. Say you've done a project during your internship, you might want to add a project. Okay, you can put your project name, for example, cost reduction of chemical X for blah blah blah, right? So currently working on this project or not, then the duration you work on that project, associated with whatever post that you did. Say you've declared your internship, then connect that with your internship, then the project URL if there is any reference at all about the project. Usually there's no reference because it's all we call PNC, right? Private and confidentials. You're not supposed to what we call reveal the details of the project, but you can just say something generic about the project, right? You can just say something about chemical X, but you cannot say, I believe you cannot say if you are working on photoresist in lithography process in Silterra, to be more specific. You cannot say resist PEK XXX as your photoresist because that could be the precious item that's not discovered by some other manufacturers who are doing exactly the same manufacturing. So you cannot reveal the whole thing here, right? So kalau nak tahu you boleh reveal atau tak, talk to your boss whether you can reveal the information or not. At what extent? So for example, if I use photoresist X, so I might want to say photoresist X or ABC, something like that. But give a general description of 5% cost reduction due to or performance enhancement by 10%, whatever, right? So this is the details of your project that we might want to include in the project section as your achievement. Discard. See what else is there that you can include. Project honors and awards. If you have honors and awards from the previous universities or current from USM in your first year, second year, or decan or whatever, right? CJ decan, just put here. It's okay. Test score, language proficiency, Mandarin, English, Malay, whatever. Yang sesuai, just put here. Organization, put here as your accomplishment. Anything that are suitable as accomplishment can be included, right? So in my case, I just put my publications because I'm not interested in anything else. So courses, you can also include courses that you've gone through, right? So I didn't include the whole thing really. So languages, and this is your interest, okay? This is what I said just now when you want to follow certain companies, right? So let me just see all here. Kalau you follow certain companies, if you're following certain influencers, for example, so in my case, I'm following Angela because I'm so interested in her writing about the grit. Kalau you pernah baca buku grit tu, right, about perseverance, Angela Duckworth. I'm following Bill Gates, Tony Robbins, Adam Grant, Simon Sinek, and these are among the influencers that I like, and I read their books a lot as well. So companies. So if you're interested in semiconductor industry in general, so you might want to follow IBM, Intel, Shell if you're into oil and gas, NXP, Thomson if you're into publications and stuff, Google, MIT, Harvard Business Review. So I follow these two a lot, especially on the articles. Groups, you can follow group as well. Right, alumni of UNSW, energy group jobs, solar power, renewable energy, Petronas. Well, you can choose yourself. School pun ada. Berkeley, Eindhoven, Arizona, UNSW, UCL, ASU, USM there, especially USM. Okay, follow lah USM, kena follow lah USM. Right, so yeah, those are pretty much about the profile page. So anything about the profile page other than the training, hold on, I'll go to training soon. So let me show you what is on the feed. Click here. Refresh your new post. Right, tadi you tanya on the training, right? So you can click something on the new course here. Say you are interested in building resilience, for example. Then it will bring you to LinkedIn Learning. See here, LinkedIn Learning, so it's now loading. Slow bit, right? Line is a bit slow now. Loading. Well, technically you'll see. Okay, now it's coming up. Okay, for example, it'll bring you to this page on building resilience or perseverance. So, yeah, it's gonna be a series of short videos that you can learn about resilience, right? Just see here, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, uh, questions, stuff like that, right? These are for the free level, free level. You want to go for a professional level, for the higher level, you have to pay, of course, right? So that's the business model of the organization as well, right? So let me just go down here and show you. But all in all, you can go here for training. So let's go to the feed. See what we see here. So these are my connections. Some are really not my connections because the moment they posted, the content is meant for public. So if you say your content is for public, then everyone will see, pretty much, right? If you post to only your friends, then only your friend will see. This is my friend from Fuji Electric. See, so you can see here, we are hiring process engineer. So this guy, Azim, my friend, is not an HR personnel. He's an engineer together with me in the same department last time. So now he's sharing this vacancy by other companies, right? You can see here, this company looking for process engineer based in Kulim. So the beauty about this system is I can come here, I can go here and say I can go to the comment, for example, and if I know Fatul Bari is looking for a job in this particular industry, I can just write your name there, right? So I can tag you indirectly, right? So when I tag you, then you know that, oh, there are vacancies here, interesting. Then you can see what to do next. You can contact the HR, send emails, stuff like that. So some other times I've seen HR personnels tagging their friends, their colleagues, their connections, other HR personnels. Mungkin lah, let's say saya tahu Dr. Sakinah tengah hire someone in medical physics industry. Dr. Sakinah is an HR personnel in one company, for example. Then I saw these vacancies, or I saw these students looking for a job, and he is looking good and she's looking good. I can just tag Dr. Sakinah in or her comment so that you can get immediate attention. So you can actually tag each other if you're HR personnel. Can tag each other's connection, HR juga, so that you can get immediate attention to something. So remember, this platform is not about you looking for jobs only. It's not only a job portal, but it's also about HR personnel looking for new talents, right? So they are fighting for new talent as well. So you can come here and tag. So it's a lot easier than compared to sending resumes and CV to one company at a time. So I'm not saying that sending a resume or CV to one company at a time is not. I would encourage you to do both, in fact. Try to send emails as usual, the conventional method, and try to also embark on this platform and try to maximize the benefits of the system, right? So business review, the articles, right? Development in certain industry. Let me just go down. It's taking some time to load. Really. I don't know why. We just refresh. I think it's my line. I cannot load everything this particular time. So you've got the idea, right, of how it looks like, the feed. So you can see here, for example, so this is about, okay, Plus Solar is looking for business development engineer, right? Business development engineer. So you can click here to view the job directly. Okay, let's just try to view the job. So Plus Solar is looking for a business development engineer in Ipoh Perak, right? Ipoh Perak. So you can apply now if you want to, or just save for your own folder, KIV, later on. Right? See more. Try to see the JDs, responsibilities of the job, right? What is required. So see whether you fulfill the requirements or not, and then see what is the minimum requirement required. So bachelor's degree in engineering, business management, proactive, team player. So these are the keywords that you might want to put in your profile, right? So driven, creative, passionate, Right, this is only one example by Plus Solar, and just go back. Oxford, what else? So yeah, typical feed, right? Typical feed based on what you're following, right? So now let's try to look at the new network, my network. Try to click my network. See, I've got invitation as well from personnels in, well, from different backgrounds. Kadang-kadang sometimes there are people who like to be connected to you to do sales. So it depends whether you want to accept or not. So in this case, sales executive at this company. So I choose not to accept maybe because I'm not interested in this particular area. So connection 2,500, contacts 3,000. You can go down here. The system will suggest to you industry leaders in the field that you may know. Okay, you can see from Pekat Solar, from Petronas, from Cleantech Solar, because my stuff are mainly about solar. Head of operation of Solar Vest, Cleantech business. Right, online training for you, designed for additive manufacturing, online training. Well, you can in fact join conferences here. So I joined a couple of conferences here for free for a few sections. Selanjutnya kalau conference dia akan bagi, they can open 1 or 2 sections for public to join to attract before they can go on to the next level. But yeah, some conferences are free during the pandemic. Conferences, connections that you might want to connect to if interested, people in higher education industry, the Team Film Forum. So mainly from the groups or from the industry that you're following, right? Or the companies, yeah, solar professionals, newsletters, well, range of different things. Okay, so that's network. So let's see jobs now. Right, suggested job search. You can refine this on yourself. Head of research, VP research, SVP research, director research, all research. Okay, so let's just try to see here my jobs. Okay, so you can come here and like edit, click edit. Right, so you can put in your keyword, the alert frequency, right, the notification, and then say, in this case, if I have this, senior staff process engineer integration, Infineon Kulim, UTS by Lepas, Western Digital. It's quite a lot of hiring now, you know. Kadang-kadang kita tengok ada, kita ingat kerja tak ada sekarang. Kadang-kadang ada juga kerja sebenarnya. Some companies are expanding, some sections, some departments are expanding, but you don't know. But general condition memanglah, we know that due to the pandemic, people losing jobs and stuff like that. But there are companies expanding as well. See more jobs. Okay, so in this case, so if it's in Kulim, then no. Yeah, sometimes if you don't find anything near the area or in the area, the system will propose to you something around the region. Okay, for example, if you want Kulim, then probably it will suggest you Perai or Batu Kawan or Penang, in fact, Island. Micron, see, Micron is doing a lot of hiring. Infineon, UTS, Intel. You can also get your connection there as well. So if I see here Micron, they are alumni of UNSW is here as well. You can click here and see, and you might know your friends. Western Digital, Microns. So these will be based on your parameters that you put in. So for example, if you come here, you come job, and you say 100 kilometers away, then see you will end up with 82 different jobs. Say full time. Say, okay, hold on. Experience level. So see experience level. When you're looking for internship, then try to click here, internship entry level, perhaps. ataupun internship saja. For example, kalau entry level maybe for fresh engineers or fresh executive and stuff like that. Try to show. Right, see, Intel is hiring fresh graduates. Intel, Jabir is also hiring fresh graduates. I see quite a number of vacancies from Intel. Right, so that's interesting. You can see here job description if you want to go for this particular job. Quality and reliability engineer, entry level, semiconductor nature, JD is here, what you are expected to do. And these are the qualifications required. Bachelor degree electronics, EE, micro E materials, minimum 5 years. Well, sometimes, yeah, in some cases they put you 5 years, but sometimes they can't tolerate fresh graduates. Just try for your luck, you never know. Okay, so that's jobs. Okay, good job. Is it okay for you now? Is it clear? Any questions on jobs? All good? Is it okay? Yep, all good. All right. So notification, you can see here notification, especially from your posts or your comments. Wow, my line is really slow now. Let's see the notifications. So yep, summary, 29 searches this week. And then yeah, someone viewed your comments or your posts, right? In this case, Fatul Bari, okay, like, comment or something. You can see every log of your activities, right? So LAM research. If someone viewed your profile, like the one I showed just now. So this is notification. Yeah, I believe that's all from my sharing in general about LinkedIn. Let me just finish off with a little bit on internship. Yeah, let me just reshare my slides. I'd like to mention to you a few things about internship and job hunting for you to prepare. Let me just go back to the slides. Okay, hold on. Can you see the slides? Just to confirm. All right, good. So we've browsed LinkedIn more or less. So you've got some ideas, right, so far? So nanti you have to explore. I couldn't explore everything, but you know where to put in based on your current qualification. So internship and job hunting. Let me finish this off in a couple of minutes. So you might be interested in internship and job hunting. Well, looking for job will be challenging, and it's always challenging. It's not easy, even though you have what it takes. Sometimes it's always a combination of what you have and what the industry has, right? Kadang-kadang kita dah meet all the minimum requirements. We have pretty much everything equipped in ourselves, but there's just no vacancy in the market, so there's no job for you as well. So, but then just now you saw that at least in the area of semiconductor, you see quite a number of jobs being advertised. So that shows to some extent expansion that's happening in the business, which is good, right? So these are among the questions that you have to be prepared with. Describe your work style. What motivates you to come to this company? What is your strength and weakness? Can you handle pressure? So can you handle pressure is among the top question, I would say. The top question asked by interviewer, because if you're looking into industry job, typically involve a lot of pressure, right? So do you feel a lot of pressure while doing your internship? Do you feel pressures? Do you do your internship at all, or you think it's just like normal student life? A zero, yes, okay. Can you adapt with the pressure? Do you manage to see, you know, people working in the industry, the nature, the 24/7 sometimes, the meeting, the urgency, Kadang-kadang pukul 5 nak balik, baru 4:45 bos bagi kerja. 8 a.m. tomorrow, I want you to present in board meeting, for example. That means 5 p.m. onwards will be the time to run the experiment, collect data, compile, prepare slides, be ready for your presentation. So that's why it goes until night time sometimes. Well, it depends on industry, but at least if you talk about semiconductor, if you've gone through semiconductor, so this is pretty much the nature of the area, right, or of the business. Okay, so next, what are the key aspects that you have to be prepared with? First one is your education background, of course, your degree, your CGPA, right? So when you talk about CGPA, in general, if you talk about MNC, multinational companies, they're looking for 3.0 and above, right? So I'm not saying that those of you without 3.0 and above takkan ada chance. No, it's not right. So when you have 3.0, it's just it's really a ticket for you to get into the place, right? Just a filtration mechanism. You just imagine, I normally inform this in my class. If the HR personnel receive hundreds of different resumes, and then the vacancy is only five vacancies available for the post, how do you think they would go about? They'll go by the CGPA first, okay? In order to filter CGPA above 3.0, below 3.0, not to demotivate you. This is real. It's real. Then say if they've filtered 3.0 and above, say they've got out of 100 maybe 70, then what else will count, right? Then they'll go through your social involvement, your qualities, your hard skill, your soft skill, your other stuff, your awards and stuff. So that's why in this particular time, in this particular case, your sections in your LinkedIn will play a very important role. Okay, so they'll go through, and your CV, in fact, your resume, in fact, will play a very important role overall as an overall quality to represent yourself. Because that's the only way they can tell you. They don't know you in person, so they don't know your quality. So the qualities they can say or they can extract only from your CV, resume, or from your LinkedIn profile, and they have to trust the inputs there, right? The points there, right? So then relevant courses. If you're aiming for industry A, this particular company, then you might want to put up your relevant courses related to the industry. Kalau nak letak semua, then it's going to be like what? So many different subjects to put in, right? And it's going to be so crowded on your resumes, right? So choose, I would say, 5 to 10 max relevant courses that are very, very related to the industry. Okay, if you're not sure of, keep it open as well. Don't go too narrow unless you want to be very specific to that particular company, or else keep it a little bit generic, but at least you have so that they have an idea of you are aiming within semiconductor, especially. So FYP, put a title there, brief summary, and then not to forget the results, summary of the results, and then what did you learn from your FYP, technically and non-technically as well. Brief summary has to be included, and then your internship. If you have projects or if you have tasks that you've done, completed with certain achievement, summarize that as well. Summary is not only in your LinkedIn, but it's also in your CV later on. Resume, CV. Don't just put you worked on simulation of the product and that's it, done. They might not understand what exactly they should do because some titles could be really specific already, and HR personnel, they won't understand. That's why the brief summary will be very important. So in this brief summary, you have to include the keywords that will ring a bell, right? Keyword yang dia nak dengar lah. If you are looking for semiconductor industry, solar in particular, for example, then you might want to put solar cell punya word is compulsory. If you're looking for chip industry, integrated circuit like Silterra, Infineon, ON, MIMOS, then integrated circuit, fabrication, include all the important keywords that rings the bell, right? Rings their bell lah, HR punya bell lah, right? Kadang-kadang HR personnel ni dia just tahu a very superficial keywords related to the industry, so they don't know the details. Hiring manager atau director je akan tahu. So in this case, put the common keywords there to catch their attention, right? So I had last time a student of mine working on FYP and completed FYP, and then when the student applied for an internship, the student was hired just by looking at the description of the project, title and description, no interview at all, right? And so in this case, it shows that the brief summary and the title of the FYP is very, very important, okay? So in this case, if you're looking for a job, then your internship will be very, very important. Try to put common keywords that they want to hear, not you want to hear. They want to hear, like they are looking for, right? So look for that. Kalau you nak tahu, you have to go to the company lah. Go to the company website, reach the direction, the product, the interest, the job scope, and extract the main keywords, right? So other key aspects that are equally important, social involvement during university time, persatuan pelajar ke NGOs, I don't know, siswa apa ni? Yang siswa niaga semua tu kan, all the stuff. Whatever that you've involved during your university time, put them in, right? Put them in. Hard skills, fabrication, statistical process control, simulation, programming, or other hard skills that are related to your area. So saya letak sini just related to my area, mainly physics, applied physics, semiconductor, all this stuff, right? But try to extract the main keywords or related to the hard skills that you've learned during your uni time, right? Soft skills, communication, interpersonal, teamwork, and whatever that are equally important. Do internship at the company you want to work after graduation. Ideal case, right? Not necessarily the case, but if you want to work in Intel, for example, cuba aim for your internship dekat Intel. Try customize your resumes accordingly to your Intel's interest, right? Kalau you nak kerja dekat Infineon, for example, then try to get your internship there, right? Why? The moment they have seen your quality, your work performance, then they've trained you for like 4.5 months. In our case, a training internship of 4.5 months and 18 weeks. So there's no reason, if they've seen your performance is good, you have good attitude, so there's no reason for them not to absorb you unless there is no vacancy. Okay, so other vacancy, then usually from the past record we saw from our physics student typically hired if they are vacancies and the students are good enough. Okay, so try to align. That's why it's important for you to align from day one. Kalau you must say first year, second year, try to align your internship. Try to align your FYP, your internship to the place that you want to work in. Ideal case. Kalau boleh lah, kalau you boleh fikir dari awal, so that means you can actually design your FYP, in our case third year, and then LI fourth year, and then you want to work there. So maksudnya, in order to get your internship, you already have your FYP aligned. In order to have the job, you already have your FYP and internship aligned. So this will serve as a strong quality overall in your application later on to the job. Okay? Unless kalau tak ada choice, then you dapat project lain, internship benda lain, then of course no choice. It happens most of the time. But ideal case, I said, ideal case, if you can align beforehand FYP to internship to the dream job, dream company, that will be the best case, right? Dan tak ramai lah yang dapat macam ni ya. So try your best to plan your future from now. So working in industry, just to give to you a little bit of feedbacks on the industry in a few minutes. Industry, if you're talking about EE industry, because it's related to pure applied and engineering somehow, okay? So it's a fast-paced environment. Everything is fast, everything is urgent, everything is important. Did you see that during your internship? For those of you who did your internship in semiconductor, EE, front end, back end, did you see that as well? Atau you nampak dia orang laid back, relax, tak ada apa, everything is fine, right? Hannah, betul? Okay, everything is urgent, right? Stress, right? Yeah, everything is urgent, everything is now. I want it now. I want it now. Oh, I want it yesterday. The boss said, I want it yesterday. I know I want it yesterday. Semalam dah siap dah, bukan hari ni. So not tomorrow, not even tomorrow. It's now or yesterday. Fast pace, everything is urgent. 5 p.m. you dah nak balik, then you dapat task. You have to solve the problem. Look at the engineers around the industry, right? Kadang-kadang you have to stay back, nighttime, weekend, it's common, right? When I was in the industry, 6 days per week is common, right? 6 days per week is common. Not 5 days. 5 days only in the offer letter. 24/7 environment. If you're running mass production, then it's 24/7. Day shift, night shift, 3 shift, 4 shift, whatever. 2 days alternately, they run differently, but 24/7 in general. So that means when you're involved in the industry, so you have to entertain problem solving, advice at night time as well, right? Because production runs nighttime, so they might not solve the problem without your advice, so they have to call you up nighttime. Therefore, it's 24/7. It's a steep learning curve. For fresh graduate, it's going to be a steep learning curve. You will learn virtually new thing every day, right? Every day, new thing. So it's all about delivery. It's all about you delivering the project. So it's not about, I told this in my class, your CGPA is only a ticket. You tak ada tiket, you tak boleh masuk stadium kan? Tak boleh masuk stadium, you cannot go on the bus, you cannot go into the cinema or whatever. Just as an analogy, so it's just a ticket. The moment you are there, nobody asks you about your CGPA. Nobody wants to know whether you're 4 flat or 3.9 or decan all the way first year to fourth year. It's about you delivering the project, delivering your responsibilities. Perform atau tak will be dependent on you performing, delivering the task. All right? Kalau you process engineer, then it's all about process troubleshooting, equipment, then equipment repair, all those stuff, maintenance, R&D. Well, it ranges across different JDs, job responsibilities. But these are the keywords, the main keywords that I want you to embed in your mind before you go to the real industry. Fast-paced, 24/7, steep learning curve, and it's all about delivery, right? Your education background is only about ticket. It's only a ticket. Bila you ada dalam industry, when you join the industry, the learning curve here, whether it's steep or less steep, will be dependent on your background. This is where your degree will help a lot. Katalah, I heard of bio students joining Silterra doing biosensors, for example. Then mungkin bio student akan excellent on the bio part, on the bio detection, on the biosensing. But when it comes to the sensing, to the mechanism, to the fabrication, maybe physics punya student lebih advanced lah, I would say, ataupun engineering in general will advanced. So in that sense, it's a complementary nature. You still have to learn from zero, by the way. When you are already in the industry, you still have to learn from scratch because they are all new things, but your background will help you determine whether it's going to be super steep or, well, just modest. But typically for fresh grad, it's going to be steep or super steep, right? Super steep kalau you tak tahu sangat, you tak ada background. Kalau you ada the right background, the right fundamental, I think it's going to be steep, but you can manage, right? Industry expectations, this is the last one. It's almost 11:45 already. Okay, industry expectations. So qualifications consist of your knowledge, and this is your CGPA, your relevant courses, and your FYP. As I said just now, relevant skills, hard skills, soft skills, right? Your programming or whatever that you've learned, professional cert if you have, and then your teamwork, your analytical skill, your presentation, your interpersonal, and others. Internship experience will be very, very important. You'll be in the spotlight if you're looking for a job. Attitude will be super important. If you have all this, but you don't have this, forget about it, right? Forget about it. You have 3, you don't have 4th one, they'll forget all the 3. If you cannot work with, you cannot deliver, you datang kerja lambat, ataupun everything, you have excuse for everything, then forget about it. This one won't count, okay? This is the key. The moment they can work with you easily, yeah, you can perform, you can communicate well, you can be in the team, you can contribute, the rest will be more significant, okay? So look at this, top 10 skills of 2025 by World Economic Forum. Categorized in 4 domains: problem solving, self-management, working with people, technology use and development. So you should have all these 4 domains. And look at the color code: blue, green, color puni, dan dark purple code. Okay, so you can see here the blue reflects your analytical thinking and innovation, complex problem solving, critical thinking, analysis, creativity, originality, initiative, and reasoning. So this is the first domain that is important. The second domain, look at self-management. So it's all about active learning, your initiative, right? The moment you are there in the industry, the difference will be in the initiative. Kalau you malas, slow. Kalau you rajin, You ask for new projects, you involve more, you contribute more, you actively involve, actively contribute, actively learn about new stuff, you will go further in life. Believe me, trust me. Yeah? And self-management is also about resilience, stress tolerance, flexibility. Sometimes you could be good in your degree in terms of your performance, GPA and everything, but you cannot handle stress. You're not resilient enough. You cannot persevere enough. You cannot handle stress. Then you couldn't survive long. So try to develop that over time. So you need to be able to absorb the heat. We say in the industry, you need to absorb the heat, able to absorb the heat. Yeah? The heat is the stress, the issues, and the line problem, the new projects, the expectations of the boss, the team, and everything. Be flexible at the same time. Working with people involve leadership and social influence. So you should be able to influence people in your team to make sure that your team move forward, for example, right? And if you want to be a leader, for example, you should portray leadership skill as well. And then the final one is technology use and development. Technology use, monitoring, control. This is more on the technical side of what you've learned before and what you're willing to learn next. Technology design and programming, right? So try to master these 4 domains because it's going to be very, very important on the next in the next years to come, right? So that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I open for Q&A.